HarperCollins presents Secrets of Cavendon by Barbara Taylor Bradford, read by Anna Bentinck. For Bob, with all my love always. Part 1. A Rip in the Fabric. 1949. Yesterday's weaving is as irrevocable as yesterday. I may not draw out the threads, but I may change my shuttle. Muriel Strode Lieberman, My Little Book of Life. Chapter 1. Cecily Swan Ingham, the 7th Countess of Mowbray, was on the steps of the office annex, looking out across the stable block, her eyes focused on Cavendon Hall, perched high on the hill in front of her. It was a lovely June morning, and the luminous light, particular to the north of England, cast a sheen across the soaring roof and chimney-tops, which appeared to shimmer under the clear, bright sky. How glorious the house looks today, she thought. Stately, grand, strong and safe. She smiled wryly to herself. It wasn't safe at all, in her opinion, not in reality. Sadly, as grand as the house looked this morning, it was facing serious trouble once more in its long life, and she was genuinely worried about its future, the future of the entire estate, including the Grousemore, as well as the Ingham family itself. Cecily sighed, closed her eyes, shutting out the view. Cavendon had bled them dry for years, and taken an enormous amount of their time. They had each made huge sacrifices for it, and all of them had at one time or another poured money into the bottomless pit it had become, particularly Cecily herself. Opening her eyes, straightening, she wondered how on earth they would manage to stave off the encroaching trouble, which was slowly but steadily moving forward to engulf them. If she was truthful with herself, she had to admit she had no idea. For once in her life she felt entirely helpless, unable to create a foolproof plan of action. The clatter of hooves cut into her worrisome thoughts, and she opened her eyes. Her brother Harry was crossing the cobbled stable-yard, accompanied by Miles, who walked alongside the horse. Her husband spotted her, raised his hand in greeting, smiled at her. That special smile, reserved for her alone. Her heart tightened at the delighted look that crossed his face because he had seen her unexpectedly. Harry waved, she waved back, and watched her brother leave the yard. He was off on his Saturday morning rounds of the entire estate. Harry revelled in his job as the estate manager, and had made such a huge difference in numerous ways. The new gardens he had created, after he had been invalided out of the Air Force, were startlingly beautiful and had drawn many visitors. Miles joined her on the steps, putting his arm around her. "I missed you at breakfast. As adorable and entertaining as our children are, they can hardly take your place, my love." "I needed to get to my desk, go over the latest figures Aunt Dotty sent up from London before going to the meeting." "Bloody hell! I'd forgotten about the Saturday morning meeting," Miles exclaimed, sounding annoyed. Cecily gave him a nod and grimaced. Miles said, "Come on then, madam. Buck up at once. Gird on your sword and prepare to do battle. You have no alternative, you know. The die is cast." "Indeed it is." She laughed. "I'm off," she added. "There won't be a battle, maybe a bit of grumbling and whining, but that's all." She blew him a kiss. "I know that. Still, just think, next week we'll be all alone with our little brood and Aunt Charlotte. The rest of the family will have gone off on their holidays, thank God." "Like you, I can't wait," she replied, and left him standing on the steps of the annex. She made her way across the stable-yard, heading for the terrace which ran along the back of the house, facing Cavendon Park. When she stepped onto the terrace a few seconds later, her 3 sisters-in-law and aunt had not yet arrived for their regular weekly catch-up.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?